Okay, well, Ariane, great to see you. Happy Wednesday. Just how are things? How is your day going so far?
I think good. I did a great sparring session in the morning. Just have lunch, take a shower, and I'm ready for the interview.
Yeah, here to hang out. We love it. We love
Yeah.
it. Awesome. So, very exciting times, of course, a lot going on, PFL. But first of all, I want to congratulate you. I saw you got your brown belt recently, right? At the end of
Yeah,
January. I mean, what was that feeling like? Tell me how exciting that was to get, a little promotion.
yeah. I'm really excited. Actually, I was like a purple belt for almost 7 years, so I was like, maybe I stay forever on the purple belt. But like since we moved to United States, I I I was more training like for MMA, grappling for MMA, so I wasn't jiu-jitsu gym. So I knew that I couldn't get a promotion, but we've been starting to work we've been training at Wagner Rochas for 2 years now. So actually, I wasn't expect they have like a really high level jiu-jitsu no gi. So I was there just, to to improve, and then they surprised me. I was crying emotionally and really, really happy, and just make me feel more confident on my jiu-jitsu that if they gave me the brown belt, they have a really high level jiu-jitsu, it made me feel like, yes, I'm ready.
Of course, yeah, I can imagine that was probably a good surprise, especially after you said 7 years. It feels like it's never going to happen, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, hopefully it doesn't take too long for the black belt, right? Always working.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. But yes, like I said, congratulations on that, Ariane. Congratulations on, the PFL coming up here, debut, exciting times. I mean, I'm curious. Tell me how soon after leaving the UFC did you hear about this opportunity? Like when did they approach you? How long have you known about it?
Um, Actually, after I left UFC, after my last fight in UFC, I got a time that I was like really thinking if I was, if I wanted to keep fighting or not. So I was like, okay, is it time to stop? And then I just like keep training because I like to train. And then was the first time in a long time that I was only training, not thinking about my next opponent, my next competition, just training for improvement, just training for having fun. Like when we start training,
Right.
and then I understood that I really like to do that. And then after like months, I decided, okay, I want to keep fighting. We talked with Ali, my manager, and we said, okay, I'm ready. If an opportunity shows up, I'm ready. And then it was about, I think, October, November, PFL just announced that they changed. They had no tournament anymore. They are open the weight divisions, and they are looking for 125 women's fighters. So it just came in the right time.
Okay. So yeah, you figured out you decided that you still wanted to fight before they approached you. Sounds like, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then yeah, that's pretty good timing. Worked out that way.
Yeah.
I mean, were you contemplating other things to do, like in terms of coaching or like fully leaving MMA? What was kind of going through your mind at that time?
On that time, I was like, maybe it's time for me to become a mom. I want to become a mom. I want to have kids. And, us as a women's fighters, we know that we are open, like we have to decide, or we compete or we become a mom. If we want to have a baby, you know that is at least 1 2 years that you will not be able to compete. So we are always making that choice. So in that moment, I was like, okay, maybe it's time for make that decision, and but it's not the time
Hmm.
yet. And I'm
Yes,
here, and I have a fight coming up.
yes, more people to punch, more people to kick, all that fun stuff.
Yeah, yeah. The thing was like we talked about. I gave everything, for reaching my goal with my FC. And then when I left FC, I was like, so what's now? What's my next goal? What's my next? Like I was 100%. I was 100% focused on that plan. So, but I talked with Renat, he's my head coach, and my husband. We decided like I don't believe that so many years of like giving everything for the sport it's time to like finish like that. I think you have more to show. And as I was training, I I was like training more. relaxed. I had so much improvement. I said, oh, yes, I have a lot to do. I have a lot to show yet, and I want to have more fights.
Well, I think that's kind of the crazy thing, right? Is like you're still pretty young, Ariane, just like as a human, right? But you've had a very long career, and I still will always remember your KSW career, and like it was such a fun time, and like the fights that you had there got us so excited for you to be in the UFC in the first place. So like you've had a very full career already, and then you kind of had that process of continuing to grow through the UFC. So like. I mean, I guess how do you reflect on like all of that? It makes sense that you would probably feel that way because you have done a lot already.
Yeah, so the thing was, my career in KSW was like perfect. Was like a fair start. Like you say, like I felt like everything was happening perfectly,
Yeah.
everything on the right time. I was ready for the opportunities, and everything was just, opportunity was coming. And as I signed up with FC, I saw so many good opportunities coming, but I wasn't ready for all that opportunity on that moment. But I took all them. I was always like feeling that I was ready on my mind. I said, I'm ready. I'm gonna take that. I always said yes for any fight. And but the thing is, experience you just got as you go through. You cannot get experience if you don't make mistakes, if you don't put yourself in risk. So as I look back, I just say I growed so much with the experience that I still have a lot to show. I want to see how I'm gonna be after all this experience, after after this moment of growth, right? Right, grown as a woman, as a person, as a fighter. So how I'm gonna be now? What's the next? And that's what I'm looking for.
Do you have a thing that you would say you learned the most, like throughout your journey with the UFC, or is it kind of just a combination of all the growth, like you were saying there?
That is how I learned a lot,
Yeah.
but I think the most important thing was like I was guided by my emotions, and
Mm.
I'm more like conscious now. I look back and I said I wish I had enjoyed more conscious that moment, like not just being there by being guided by my feelings. It just let me. I was just automatic. I wasn't really there enjoying every moment. I wasn't doing everything with purpose, like intentionally. And I think that's what I most learn, and that's what I most like bring for my life every day. Like, don't let my feelings guide me. Just I'm here. I'm in this moment, enjoy and doing everything with purpose and intentionally training, intentionally rest, intentionally enjoying my family. Intentionally eating, doing everything with intention.
All right. Yeah. Very great lessons learned indeed. They can be applied to everything. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think you said that very well. And so did you have a favorite moment though from the UFC run though, Ariane? Obviously, a couple to choose from. We think of the knee bar was a nasty one. Anything that comes to mind for you?
Yeah, no, but my favorite was as my when I got the win over I just forgot her name. My God, just forgot the name. But when the fight I just got in the ranking was something that we were working really well. We were working really hard to achieve in UFC. When I got in the ranking of UFC, become the number 12 in the ranking, uh, was something that I said yes. Like
Mhm.
God this for many years. So was on that fight, everything was perfectly. I was happy. I was conscious in that moment. I was good on my striking, good on my grab. I was confident. So that moment was a really, really good memory in UFC.
Of course, and many great memories to keep making, Ariane. And it starts here,
Yeah,
of course, with
yeah.
the Sumiko Inaba fight, which Sumiko, of course, fun fighter herself, very active and aggressive like yourself. But were you familiar with her before you got this matchup? And like once you kind of found out about her more and looked more at her, I mean, it's probably an exciting one for you, right?
Yeah, actually I had watched her last fight with Dakota before I knew I would fight with her. So I knew her. I watched her her last fight, and as soon as I signed to fight with her, we started studying, looking more on her game, on her style. She's a good fighter. She go for it. She's a striker, but she tries some takedowns. So the game plan is be ready for everything. I think it's gonna be a fun fight to watch as we both are go for it. We both like the infight, so it's gonna be nice.
Yes, absolutely. Very excited for it. I'm excited for your guys' fights when they're separate, but you put you guys together, then of course we're gonna get a good one there. So definitely
Yeah.
a great one to start with. But I'm curious, Ariane, like, do you have any long-term goals you're already thinking of in the PFL? Right? Like, of course, I'm sure most people want to be the person to defeat Dakota Ditcheva, who's like the top, flyweight right now. But one step at a time, of course. Are you thinking ahead at all, or just kind of going one by one?
Yeah, my focus like is get ready for my next fight, win my next fight, have a great performance in my PFL debut. But as I told you, I had big plans in FC. For sure, I have big plans in PFL. That's the way I work. I work like I have a goal, and I'm gonna work for make that goal happen. My goal is have my first win in PFL with a great performance. As Nick, she's the number five. A win is gonna make me the number five. I know Dakota is fighting this Carmouche for the belt on June, and I don't, and then I don't think that a win over Nick is gonna make me the next one for the belt already because they're gonna fight in June, so it's a long time to wait. So what I think is gonna happen is I'm gonna fight the number 3 or 4, that is Tyla or Denise, and after that I will be able to fight. I'll be the next challenge for the belt and not fight with the win or Dakota or this kind of wish. So
All
that's my
right.
goal.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
you
my
got a pretty good roadmap there. I think it lines out pretty good. So that's good to hear. And it is. I'm curious too, Ariane. Like, you're not at ATT anymore, right? You've since.
no. Yeah, no, we left agency on 2023 in
Okay.
January.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. But so, was there any crossover? Did you know Dakota or meet her when she got to ATT? I don't remember when she got there, but did you guys ever
Yeah.
interact at all?
Yes, yeah, we talk, we train, and yeah, she's a good girl. She's nice. I like her story about her mom was a
Hmm.
fighter, and then she become a fighter. I think that's really cool. She's been doing a great job at PFL, and so fighting her would be awesome. As I believe she's gonna become the champion. I mean, this Carmouche is a really, really tough fighter.
Hmm.
She has a lot of experience, but I think for that fight, I believe that it's more for Dakota is the favorite. So fighting her would make me would be it would means that I would be achieve the one step for my goal that is get the belt in PFL. So, it's not personally she's a great fighter, but she's she's gonna be the champ or the number one. So for sure I wanna fight her because she's one of the best.
Yeah, absolutely. We always like to see the best fight the best, and that's pretty
Exactly.
easy to happen within ATT. Also, Ariane, like the dynamics are so fascinating to me, and you look at the case between Kayla Harrison and Amanda Nunes. Like, I'm sure you were around at the time they were, there too, and then now they were getting ready to fight each other. I mean, is that kind of weird for you to see, like, all these, years later, they're getting ready to fight, and how you feel about the fight that is probably still going to happen. Obviously, it got delayed, but when you see kind of the trainings between these great fighters and then they get paired up to fight, like, that probably adds so much for you when you're around it, right?
Yeah, so ATT, when you go train there, you kind of already expect that, right? So I used to train with girls that was on my weight division UFC, and I know like okay, we're gonna train, but I know that we can fight. Like that's the mindset we go train there. I know Amanda and Kayla was different because they were not on the same organization that time.
Right.
So Amanda Kayla was just, starting her MMA career. So as Amanda was able to train with her, so she was unexpected that the things happens that way. But as soon Kayla shows what was her intention, I went, okay, that's it. So now I know, and so I think that's the business, right? Sometimes it's personal, sometimes not. Just meaning both fighters are great, and they're gonna, fight for that moment because both fighters are really good, and that's what's gonna happen.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. And I gotta put you on the spot though, Ariane. Like, do you have a prediction for who will win the fight when it does happen?
Amanda, for sure.
Yeah.
Amanda. Yeah. Amanda she's like another level as an athlete. I saw her train. I could learn a lot from her, like the mindset, the way she trained, the way she managed the confidence, the way she managed being a double champion and just release all the pressure, like the way she just was able to like be normal with that,
Hmm.
like knowing that so many fighters on that moment was looking for take the belts from her, and she was like, just enjoying. So I could learn a lot from her. Even now, I saw some of her trains. I still able to learn her focus, her mindset. She's really great.
Yeah, absolutely. She's the best for a reason. So
Mm.
I agree
Yeah,
with you there. I can't wait to see her back in action. Even if it is for one fight, however many, we're lucky to see her fight at all, right?
yeah,
So
exactly.
very exciting times just in MMA overall, Ariane. Like, with that fight coming up, and, of course, your fight, UFC, PFL. I mean, Ronda Rousey's coming back, Gina Carano, and Netflix. I mean, so many things are going on. Do you think that, like, just how do you feel about the state of MMA overall? Do you think everything's in a good place? And especially for the women, like, a lot of things are happening. Just how do you feel about the sport right now?
I think that's great, actually. Happened so good fight. We have so many good fights matches coming up, and people want to look and watch and be excited. If you look in a few years ago, we didn't even have like so many women's fighting, right? So many divisions, and now I just see like this is so good for the young girls. You see like kids training already fighting MMA like amateur like with 10 years. I say, wow, they are like they already see a future, and it just I think that's great. I think that's amazing for the girls, for the young girls, and it just make me understand the responsibility of being a fighter, a woman fighters, as I have fighters who inspired me. I want to be one of that kind of fighter who inspired the young girls of have a dream and follow their dreams, but also being a person, a woman with a purpose, just not doing things that they're gonna regret. They doing things consciously and intentionally with a purpose.
Well, I love that you brought up the inspiration and said it that way because I wanted to ask you, Ariane, like, if you could go back in time and, like, take yourself now and speak to you when you first started in MMA, what would be the best piece of advice that you would give yourself when you started in the sport?
I'll enjoy every month because everything happens so fast. And when we are young, we don't think that the things one day is gonna like have that gonna pass. We are always anxious about the future, and then when the future happens, we look back and say, "Why did I not enjoy better that moment?" So I think that could be the advice. Just enjoy every moment because it's a process, and when the process it it's finished, it means that it's over. So, and then, so we just enjoy the process. If you're in the process, it means that's happening. It didn't finish for you yet. So that could be the advice.
Perfectly said. Yeah, I think you got to live in the moment. So I think that is good advice indeed, Ariane. And so I can leave it on that note. I appreciate you taking the time so much. It was great to get to talk to you again. You probably won't remember this, but I interviewed you before you did get to the UFC, and I got to say your English is much better. You didn't really know much at the
Thank you.
time, so
Uh-huh.
big difference. So
No.
good to catch up with you
Okay.
again. And
Thank you. Thank you. I didn't remember. When was that?
Oh my goodness. It was,
2019
yeah, it was right
maybe. I
before
was
you
in
fought
Quebec.
JoJo, so it was, yeah, long time
I don't
ago.
know, a long time. Yeah, I don't remember, but that's good. Thank you for you say about my English. I've been training, study. Even like here in Florida, we have so many Brazilians that sometimes it's hard to improve the English
Yeah,
because we just speak Portuguese
of course.
everywhere we go. But I'm trying.
Yeah, no, doing an excellent job and been following your career since KSW, like I said, Ariane. So it's great to, always catch up and see all the fights and success that you've had. So big congratulations on all the opportunities, and I'm always wishing you the best. So thank you for the time
Thank
and
you.
have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. Thanks so much. Have a great day for you too.